Hello, today I'm going to check out the acoustic sim in the HeadRush and try to get this to sound like one of these. Let's go! Hey, hope you're doing well. So every once in a while, you're probably going to find yourself wanting some form of an acoustic tone. And if you're like me, maybe you just don't like playing an acoustic guitar. And in my case, I do a lot of small cover gigs where I rock up and they fully expect me to be some form of this guy. Now, I'm really trying to not be that guy. However, it's good to be flexible and it pays the bills. And a fun side effect is that the average punter has no idea what's going on and they're really confused as to why an acoustic guitar is coming out of this thing. So I obviously have a rig set up here and I'm going to show you guys the best way to get this sounding legit. And this is the rig. It sounds like this. So just to give you guys a bit of a reference point, this is my Maton acoustic guitar played through the same rig. I've turned off the acoustic sims though. So when you look at that rig, what's the first thing you notice? There's no amp sim because we're using an acoustic guitar. You wouldn't plug your acoustic into a Marshall or a Fender, would you? Unless you have a very specifically designated acoustic amp, I recommend just leaving it out completely. And in this case, HeadRush doesn't have, or at least as far as I'm aware, they don't have an acoustic amp, but we do have an acoustic sim. So this acoustic sim is actually pretty good. I mean, check this out. So what I want you to be paying attention to there is the percussive nature. It's like I'm actually hitting an acoustic guitar. Obviously I can't do the slappy stuff that those people do, but that's still pretty good. So when you look at the chain, think about it like it is an acoustic setup. So the first thing you're going to be playing is your acoustic guitar. So that's what that is right there. I've got a second one loaded up and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that at the end. Next in line, I've got a bit of compression. Now in this instance, this is what it looks like. If you want to copy this rig, by all means copy it. That's the whole point of these. When I strum my acoustics, I like the pick attack to come through. You want to hear the strum noise. So nice sort of medium attack there at 30 milliseconds. I've boosted the gain up by 2.1, ratio of 4, and not too much of a slow release. Next in line, I've got a volume because I like a volume. That block there is empty. Whoa. Down here is a flanger. It's cool to have a flang every once in a while. And then I've got a multi-chorus. A lot of people like to put choruses on their acoustic tone and it sounds really nice. As long as you don't overdo it, it can get really modulated and gross. I'll give you a demo of that in a minute. Got a graphic EQ, which should be on because it just helped after I'd done my parametric EQ. Now these settings, again, that's what those ones there are. Those ones there. And the parametric EQ is this. Now, when it comes to the EQ, I definitely recommend doing your own EQ. By all means, start here and do that. But I EQ'd this to be on this guitar on the middle pickup because the pickups are still going to change the tone. Then a delay and a reverb, and I've got a scene set up where I engage a different reverb. I'll show you that. All right, so let's just go through. I'll turn off everything. Let's just start it up. So the acoustic sim, you have a few different presets in here. This is the enhance. You've got standard, jumbo, enhance, and piezo, or piezo, however you want to say it. Now I found the body was too woofy, so I backed it off by just a smidge. Let's check them out. Now again, this is on the middle position. press the enhance mode, standard. It's significantly different. We heard the enhancer, the piezo. I'll go back to the enhance because that's the one I like. So body all the way down sounds like nothing. So you want it up. Tone all the way down. Back up. Cool, and the level is the level. When you turn it all the way down, there is no sound at all. So down here I have just a reverb. My tuning is gross, and I just tuned. How fun. For those who care, I am tuned to E flat standard. Cool, so that reverb is just one that I've saved a preset. That's the decay, that's the tone, a little bit of pre-delay, that's the mix. Sounds good. So now when I engage both of those EQs, just cleans it up, makes it sound a little bit less disgusting. Now when I say disgusting, there are a few frequencies that, especially once you EQ, you're gonna hear that just pop out and they punch you in the earballs, they sound gross, and basically that's all I've done there. I've cleaned those up. I do have a little bit on my global settings, which I sort of just leave that. I've set it, leave it alone, don't touch it anymore. That's it there. If you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to help support the channel, I've got a whole bunch of links down the bottom, a buy me coffee page, I've got patches available, and I've also got a heap of original music. Check that stuff out. And now, so a flanger. You probably noticed I'm mostly playing G, C, and D ear because if you play acoustic, that's really all you know, right? Shh. Now the chorus, I've got the 6 voices on here. Very, very low rate. Depth 40%. Mix about halfway. Very wide. And yeah, that is cool. Nice, and some delay, we'll get that chorus off. So that's a ping pong delay, sounds delicious. So because the delays aren't going through any kind of cab filtering here, they're just after an acoustic guitar going straight into the speakers, they're really, really clean. So the mix is very low. I've got it spread 100% wide. Feedback is quite low, but it still feeds back enough. I don't like the reso, so I've turned that down, and I've still done a high pass or a low cut because, you know, it just gets it out of the low end of the guitar that way. Down the end here, I've got a scene which brings in a different type of reverb. So this is the first one. This is the second one. And that utilizes just the one button and changes between the two scenes, courtesy of that new firmware update. Woo! Now I've got this second sim block loaded up. So if you think about it like it is actually an acoustic guitar, you've got the acoustic resonance and the piezo pickup in one. So utilize one of these other routing options that you've got here. Bring this guy down to here, have both of them at the start. That is the piezo, that side is the enhanced model. We'll move some things around. So I don't know about you guys, but on first playthrough there, I think I actually prefer that sound with the two blended together. I don't know, it sounds a little bit brighter. It's not so woofy. What do you think? Let me know. Good old Ed. And of course, the delays here, it's a ping pong still, which is mad. And this time, I'll put the flanger over there. So now we're going to blend in that flange enhanced side and this multi-chorused piezo side. Sounds really, really nice. Now remember that your pickup position is still going to change the tone of your guitar that goes into the HeadRush, and therefore it's going to change the sound of the rig. Now whilst that's great and it gives you multiple different options for tone like it would if it was just a normal electric guitar rig, I find that once you've EQ'd it, once you take it away from there, obviously the frequencies move, and the frequencies that you've removed don't necessarily match up with the pickup position. So I recommend either sticking with one pickup position and just that's your sound, go with it, or you can set up multiple rigs and adjust it for each pickup position that you have. So to give you an example, that's how this rig works at that position, but if I change it, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's this like whee, and it's gross. Then down to this one. Now that's less disgusting, but it definitely is not as bright. It's a lot more dull and there's a lot more low end. So I'd probably clean up the low end a little bit more on a different patch, or even in the same patch. You can utilize your scenes and change your EQ settings. So that is the acoustic sim in the HeadRush. Turns out this rig without the acoustic sim as well is quite a good little acoustic rig. Don't use an amp, guys. It's an acoustic guitar. Make it sound like an acoustic guitar. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. See you next time.